Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Sibami channel here. Today we'll be learning how to make a top with a basque waistline or a triangle waistline. Very simple and easy tutorial. And then if you'd like to know how I made the pencil skirt I'm wearing, I'll share the link in the description below. Let's get right into it. So I first mark my starting line. Then the length of the top. My length is 24 inches. Then my waist is 17. So from the waist I added 7 inches, which includes the sewing allowance. So now it's time to mark our horizontal measurement. So we have our armhole, our bust point, under bust, and then our waist. Connect these points in a horizontal line. Okay, so our armhole or chest line, our bust point, our under bust, and then our waist. Then that is the extension for the basque area. So I marked my shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. I made mine in the sleeveless form, so I didn't add any half inches allowance. But if you want to add sleeves to yours, make sure you add half inches allowance for sewing. Okay. Connect the point like so. And then on the chest line, you mark your bust divided by 4. And on your waistline, you mark your waist divided by 4. Connect these points in a dotted line for reference. Then it's now time for us to mark our neckline. I marked the width and depth by 3. So the width of the neckline is 3 and then the depth of the neckline is 3. Usually called 3 by 3. Alright, so you curve it like so to form the neckline. And then on the shoulder, I dropped it by 1 inch and connect it like so. For the armhole, make sure you come out by half inches to draw the curve. Then we are marking our nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mine is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So I'm marking 4 inches on each of the horizontal lines. I also marked 4 inches on the basque area or the hip line, we'll call it. So join the points together in a straight line. So on the waistline, I came out by 1 inch on the side and then half inches in the middle or the center front, okay? The same for the under bust. And then on the top length or the bottom of the top, I came out by half inches allowance on the side. Then come down by 0.5 inches from the bust point area. So in order not to get anybody confused, I'm going to input my hip measurement, even though we are not going to need it, just for reference sake, okay? So when you're drafting yours, make sure you input your hip measurement just like I've done. So connect the dot point like so. But for the under bust, make sure you curve it into the 0.5 downwards of the bust point. Just watch what I'm doing. Then connect these points. Like so. Make sure you use a ruler for this. It's easier that way. So I also came out by 0.5 inches in the center front on the bottom or the hip line, and then connect it into the waist dot point. Alright, so my trick all the time, make sure you go in by 0.25 each on the under bust, and then curve it back into the waist dot. Very simple and very easy. you're going to have a very perfect fit for the bust area if you always do this. So for the bust dart, I came down from the bust point by 1 inch. That is the difference between my front waist and then my back waist, okay? So now we are going to replace all the dart intake and then 1 inch for the hip line, even though we won't be needing it, but it's good for reference, like I said before. So replace all your dart intake like so and connect it. So I added 2 inches allowance on the side. You can decide to add your allowance on your fashion fabric when you are cutting it out. I prefer to add it to my pattern paper. Alright, okay. So from the waistline, I came down by 2.5 or 3 inches. So 2.53 inches is okay. Then you're going to curve it just as I'm doing to form the basque. Right, very simple and very easy. If you've made it this far, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for my returning subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Alright, so for you to cut out your basque area, make sure you fold it over just like I did, and then cut out your pattern like so. If you have been watching my channel or you are not new to this, you know how to cut out your darts and how to do your dart manipulations. Very simple and very easy. You cut out your waist dart, then open that of the bust dart, flip it over and secure with a masking tape. Very simple and very easy. So I've drafted out the basic bodice pattern for the back, and then I'm now inserting my dart. So my dart is my nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 4. So I'm inserting the same thing on the bust area from the zipper allowance, okay? So on the waist, I came out by 1 inch on both sides. And then you're going to go up by 3 inches. For the bust dart, then you're going to connect these points together. Okay, so we have our bust dart ready. Then it's now time for you to place your dart intake. Add your sewing allowance. I added 2 inches as sewing allowance. But then I wanted just one piece for the back, so I folded over the dart, then secure it with a masking tape. That way we'll have just a single piece for the back. Alright, so our back panel is ready and we're going to cut it out. I added ½ inches sewing allowance at the shoulder. So we have our front pattern and our back pattern ready. I went ahead to slit open the front pattern to the shoulder. So now I've gone ahead to use my pattern to cut out my fashion fabric and my lining. I have 4 pieces for the back, 2 for the fashion fabric and 2 for the lining. And then for the front, I told you I slashed open like that, and then that is how come I have 2 pieces for the front. So I have a center front, then I have the center side. So for my lining, I have 3 pieces, and then you're going to flip over front side facing each other. You're going to sew with 1/2 inches allowance to attach each other. The same for the fashion fabric. You flip the front side facing each other. You're going to sew on the side. Very simple, very easy. So I've gone ahead to join my seams together, and I also laminated the lining with interface, I mean the medium one. I didn't laminate the fashion fabric because I wanted to have a very soft look in the front. Okay, so you're going to flip the back over like this, front side facing each other with a fashion fabric. Make sure the seams align very well. You're going to sew the neckline and then the bottom of the front panel. The same thing you're going to do for the back. You're going to place front side facing each other. You're going to sew the neckline and then the bottom. The same for the other piece. So for the both, you're going to sew the top and then the bottom, both for the front panel and then the back panel. So I've gone ahead to sew the bottom and then the necklines of both the front panel and then the back panel. And then we are going to be attaching the side of the front panel and then that of the back panel. So you match each side, front side facing each other, and you're going to sew with the allowance you left or your measurements. I've gone ahead to sew, and then now I've cut off the excesses. It's now time for us to join our shoulder seam. So this is how you join your shoulder seam. Just watch what I'm doing. You're going to flip open the back and then that of the front. So front side facing each other. Make sure the seams align. Just watch what I'm doing. Flip the lining over the other lining. Then you're going to sew with 1/2 inches allowance. You're going to do the same for the other side. You open both the back and then the front, making sure the seams align, front side facing each other. You're going to sew. So if you join these points with 1/2 inches allowance, this is what you're going to have. Very neat finishing for the shoulder joining. Alright, so it's now time for us to attach our zip. So I went ahead to attach my zip using the cover method or the flap method. So my zipper is covered. My top is ready. I am not going to be attaching any sleeve to this blouse, but look at the bust area. Very beautiful and very spacious to accommodate the bust. Please always make sure you apply the trick I gave you, and then you're going to have a very beautiful bust area for your client. Alright, I hope you like it, and this is me trying on my dress. I love my dress. See ya!